It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast. With Steve.
Take this flyer and bring this back to your folks and tell them about the Steve and Kyle podcast, Confectionery Cooperative.
Feeling a little bit high-end? Try the Fortunate Williams.
Feeling super poor? Here's a taste of the old Rutherford with pine nuts and molasses.
And Kyle.
I did go back and listen to the announcement episode that we recorded a year ago. It popped up on my Facebook that I had shared because I don't like talking to my extended family at all. So,
Get a lot of laughs?
a lot of laugh emojis. My family doesn't like me either, maybe.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Yes!
That time of year again.
Oh, yeah. Gales of November.
They came early.
Legend lives on from the Chippewa on down up the big lake they call Gitchigumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. It's a big boat. Big boat.
26 tons more than him.
That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. Just some mill.
Doesn't even get a name.
As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and a captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. And later that night, when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd be feeling?
Whew. That poor mill, I never noticed that. Just didn't even get a name.
Just some mill. The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and a wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late, and the breakfast had to wait, when the gales of November came slashing. Yeah! When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. Sounds like the cook just wanted a break.
Honestly, can we talk about the real villain of this story? The cook not wanting to cook breakfast on the day everybody died. They all did die with an empty stomach. Apologies to the families.
When supper time came, the old cook came on deck, saying, "Fellas, it's too rough to feed ya." At 7 p.m. the main hatchway caved in. He said, "Fellas, it's been good to know ya." The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. Yeah, you think so? And later that night, when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Musical breaks keep getting longer and longer.
Yeah. First 4, then 6, then 8, then 10.
Gordo really stretch his legs, I guess.
Gordo. I mean, listen to that solo.
Really self-indulgent.
Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? That's poetic. The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. Yeah, real easy in hindsight. They might have slid up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water.
And all that
remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters.
Such revisionist history.
I know.
If you weren't in Florida, that hurricane wouldn't have hit you. Yeah, we all know that.
It's real easy to say.
But if the searchers say, you can't really doubt them, right?
Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and bays are for sportsmen.
Is this Tim Allen?
And farther below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. And the iron boats go, as the mariners all know, with the gales of November, remember. 18 measures? Are you kidding me, Gordo?
Kind of sounds like a Great Lakes porno. Lake Ontario taking what Lake Erie can give her.
Yeah. It's hot. Boy, it really puts a whole new spin on this song for me.
Real dirty, all these Great Lakes getting it on. 5-way.
There are more
Superior
lyrics,
just
right?
watching from the corner.
Oh, remember, we say Detroit.
Oh, that's right. As Michiganders do.
In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchigumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early. All right. It is now official. It's officially November.
Bring it home, Gordo. You think for the guy with that many musical breaks, really let himself let loose on the instrumentals a little bit,
Yeah.
But the story about the lost 29 lives. See, this is not a story about Gordo.
No. Gordo's simply the mouthpiece for the families of the 29 souls.
Is this one of those cases, though, because the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, I don't even know when the song itself came out, and I'm embarrassed to say that. But this isn't exactly...
You think it was the next day?
This isn't a radio hit. This was 1976. In a year after the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald in 1975, this thing came out. He recorded it in December 1975, Steve.
It's kind of long. Come on, man.
It's a month.
Yeah.
He let those bodies haven't even decomposed in the bottom of the lake.
Some say that they have not decomposed because the water's so cold.
How about that? You think like a Ted Williams head situation?
I don't know if it's, I'm not sure if we can compare it that closely to that. But
I think maybe the families are waiting for science to catch up and then they can go down and grab them and bring them back. So this thing was written in December 1975.
By the way, we know we've probably done this exact same deep dive the last 5 years.
No. This is the deal. If you listen to this podcast in the second week of November, you will get an annual deep dive on the Edmund Fitzgerald and occasionally the song, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I wonder if my wife is cringing upstairs as she does every year during the recording of this episode.
So Gordo read an article in Newsweek that came out 2 weeks after the boat sank.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote this thing again immediately after.
Yeah.
And recorded it in December. And this thing was released the following August. So that's
a quick turnaround.
He didn't wait long.
So he recorded it a month later.
It was just on his album that came out the following year. So this is, I would argue, this is probably Gordon Lightfoot's biggest song ever, right? Or am I crazy?
I couldn't name one other Gordon Lightfoot song.
And I know people are probably angry because, the Gordo Lightfoot fan club is going to be all mad at us. I know he had some other hits.
Carefree Highway, Rainy Day People.
I mean, I don't know if you have any of them
Circle
handy,
is Small,
Steve, on
yeah.
YouTube, but none of those titles
Yeah, no.
sound familiar. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, Gordon Lightfoot's a singer-songwriter. This isn't a guy that you heard, coming up after ABBA, the newest Gordon Lightfoot.
Right.
So, but my question
Imagine
to you...
if he was, though. Imagine if he was, this, kind of top 40-ish or disco-ish.
Now, Gordon Lightfoot's 82, and I feel like he's looked 72 since he was 32.
And he's still doing it, though.
He was here 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Chris, who hung out with us a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Him and I were actually considering going to one of his shows,
mm-hmm.
but then I came to the realization, is this going to be one of those wait till the encore to play Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald? And does he
put it in a medley?
Right. Bob Dylan called him one of his favorite songwriters. Says a lot about Bob Dylan. But my question, Steve,
let's see. He's playing in 3 weeks. It looks like he's got 3 dates, 3 nights in a row in Toronto. It's going to be in Buffalo, Annapolis, Maryland, Collingswood, New Jersey, my old stomping grounds. Upstate New York, Reading, PA.
I would love to talk to anybody.
He is busy. Royal Oak, Michigan, January 30th.
I have a feeling he's probably
it's a Sunday, though. Come on, Gordo. Play a Saturday night.
He's probably a guy up until he passes who's going to be able to sell out those mid-sized venues.
Casino type, couple thousand seat.
Yeah. Seeing as this isn't a real radio song. Now the main version of that song is over 6.5 minutes long. But
if we wait until May 18th, he is playing Miller Auditorium in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Here's the real question: can Gordon wait until May 18th?
Can he hold on? We hold on until June 18th.
Closer.
He is in Lansing on a Saturday night.
What day of the week was
Wednesday?
Was Kalamazoo? Not going to happen. That seems silly.
Did we buy tickets
to June in Lansing?
June 18th show, 8 p.m. Oh, boy.
What's the price point on those? Because
let's check it out.
And again, is this one? This is kind of why I would love to talk to somebody who's ever seen Gordon Lightfoot in concert. Look, he's been touring for how many years?
If it's
right?
June, we have 8 months to get caught up on his catalog.
Right. But I want to talk to somebody who's seen him because I want to know. I mean, this screams man on a stool, right?
Should I do 2 tickets and just assume that our wives want nothing to do with this?
That's going to be a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to say that safely. Yeah, that's not going to fly. This is a man on a stool type of show, isn't it?
Tickets not cheap.
Really?
Cheapest ticket, $88.
No. I'm willing to see Gordon Lightfoot, not ironically, but really to go see Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald performed live. I am not willing to pay upwards of $100 after fees to see him for this one song. Is there any artist? Your favorite song in the world, Steve? Yeah. But let's say you had one good album. It's the only one you like that you would pay $100
for one song.
Because I love Born to Run, but if Born to Run was all, I don't know if I'd pay. No, I don't think I could do it.
Maybe now if it was a band that, obviously, are we doing Dead or Alive or anything?
Right.
Like if the Beatles were,
sure,
back together, back alive, I'd pay $100 to see them, play I Want to Hold Your Hand or something.
Well, let's say early
amazing.
90s, Milli Vanilli. Would you have paid $100 back in 90 whatever?
To see Blame It on the Rain?
To see Blame It on the Rain by Milli Vanilli, noted lip syncers. They sold out venues with that song.
Yeah.
With that song. I'm not even saying with their performance. With that song, they sold out venues.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I wasn't a diehard Milli Vanilli fan. I liked them enough, but
This is so they had number 1 hit singles with the song "Girl, You Know It's True," "Baby Don't Forget My Number," "Blame It on the Rain,"
because I think
"Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You."
I think "Girl, You Know It's True" was the one that skipped when they were performing at, was it the Grammys?
I believe so, yeah.
Because they were up on stage and it was like, girl, you know it's, girl, you know it's, girl, you know it's, girl, you know it's.
Mm-hmm. This always leads to one of my favorite games, Steve. How much is Milli Vanilli worth?
Well, one of them is dead. I know that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's Milli or Vanilli.
Condolences to his family. Fab Morvan from France. Rob Pilatus from Germany. Who never sang a single note on their hit album. I'm trying to figure out which one passed away here, Steve, because
I thought it was
Rob Forvan passed away. Oh no, I'm sorry. Rob Pilatus did pass away. Oh boy, it didn't sound like it was that's a drug overdose.
Yeah.
In the 90s, how much do you think they made for their one-hit album that they never sang a single note on?
I don't know. How deep was that? How deep did that conspiracy go? Did it? I mean, like, did the record label executives know, or was it like, did they keep it secret from everybody, and the only people who knew were like the ones that were in the room when the songs were recorded?
Right. So
because they wouldn't have even had to be there, you know?
Yeah. So I'll say this, and when you're trying to determine the surviving member, Mr. Morvan's net worth today, in 1990, their manager said, Rob and Fab got $2.1 million from us for their record deal. Mm-hmm. The Real Singers got rich. Frank Farian, who I think was their manager, got richer. That was in 1990. So they made $2.1 million US at that point. There's only one surviving member today. What do you think his net worth is today?
I mean, if he got $2 million, wait, did they combined get $2 million or $2 million apiece?
That's a good question. I do not know.
Okay, I will assume that they each got $1 million. I'm going to say
let's say they each cleared $1 million, and that was for their first. Now it should be said, I believe after this whole scandal, they did record other albums to try to recover, but nobody cared.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. I'll say the surviving member is probably worth $200,000.
Fab Morvan, French singer-songwriter, dancer, and model. God, if that's him today. If that's him at 50, they can't be him at 55. Gorgeous.
Looks good?
Gorgeous.
Good
I'll show you in a second. $250,000.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Does it? I mean, that feels so low. I don't know how residuals work. Now, granted, but that song still gets played and it still gets streamed. You'd think he would get money from that.
All depends on the deal. I mean, it all depends on the deal that they signed back then. But I wonder if after all the everything came to light, does that like void contracts and void them getting?
It was revealed that neither member sung on any of their recordings. They reformed in the 90s as Rob and Fab, but did not have a ton of success. Released a solo album in 2003. That was the last known update for Fab Morvan. But look at that. I can see if this is him at 55.
Oh, he's beautiful.
I mean, that can't be him, right?
Looks amazing, though.
My apologies to Gordo for comparing the two and getting sidetracked.
Boy, we really went.
But I wanted to ask, because Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is not exactly a radio hit.
No.
It's long. It doesn't have a hook. It doesn't have a hook. Yeah. It doesn't really have that. Could Gordon like survive off of that? That's a hit by all counts. People know the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Is that does he get multiple checks a year that people could live off of?
Probably. I mean, especially around November.
I mean, if he's selling $88 tickets to a middle of Michigan show in June.
And people are paying it.
Yeah.
He's doing all right.
Man.
Good for him. It is Saturday, November 6th, 2021, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast here in APS 3.whatever.
I always every time I hear that song, though, every year we listen to it, I just notice something different, a little something new. Obviously, the main points always stand out, like the hindsight searchers who are like, well, if they put 15 miles, they'd have lived.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, if they weren't on this boat, they'd probably all still be alive.
Yeah, we've talked about the chef and how his family must be ashamed.
I mean, he had one job.
Yeah. Didn't even cook him breakfast.
Cook the beans.
29 people dead with empty bellies. because it was a little wavy in the morning. But this year, and we pointed out while we were doing our annual singing, some mill.
Yeah, just some mill in Wisconsin.
Yeah, like people, names, locations, fame, Whitefish Bay, made kind of note from this song. And this mill in Wisconsin, like, we were the departing port or whatever of
No, they
Edmund
were going.
Fitz-
They left for some mill in Wisconsin.
Oh, that's right.
Because it left fully loaded
from Cleveland. No. I believe they were going to Cleveland. Oh boy, this is really.
Well, you'd think we'd know this.
This is really embarrassing.
But anyway, I'm assuming that the mill in Wisconsin had like a ridiculously long name or something like that, where it couldn't easily be worked into lyrics. Although he did, he worked in Gitchy Gumi.
Yeah, if you can work in Gitchy Gumi,
yeah,
I mean, make some time for that poor some mill in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So yeah, they left from Wisconsin. They're headed to Cleveland from Superior, Wisconsin, near Duluth. It does. Even the Wikipedia article does not mention the name.
Or does it just call it some mill?
En route to a steel mill near Detroit, Edmund Fitzgerald joined a second freighter. By the next day, they were caught in a severe storm. Huh. But does that mill in Wisconsin have a sign because they weren't featured in the song?
Yeah.
We're the one that Edmund Fitzgerald left from.
No, really? Or is it just called some mill?
Yeah.
Imagine if it was.
God, yeah. I kind of want to know the name because, again, if he can...
maybe all these years it's actually some SUM mill. It's short for Somerville Mill. Nobody knew it.
The Zug Island Steel Mill.
Okay, yeah, that would have been tough to work in. But again, he got...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's where it was headed. I apologize. Zug Island Steel Mill
confusion.
In Detroit. Where did the Edmund Fitzgerald depart from? It just says Superior, Wisconsin. This poor mill. Nobody wants to talk about it.
No, that's...
26,000
a little
tons.
shady to me.
Fire and ore. Bound for Detroit.
Detroit.
That's right. Worked in Detroit and the Gitchy Gumi.
Yeah. So,
and again, nobody's ever recovered. 530 feet deep there in Lake Superior. Our condolences to the family and friends
of the 29 souls.
The 29 souls.
So we have something exciting here that I want to get to.
Oh, yeah.
This was earlier in the week. I saw our good buddy Rusty. Town Drunk Rusty. And he was doing a little bit of painting work for me. I had to drop something off at his shop. And he said to me, "Hey, I got an idea. I want to give you and Kyle a gift." And I said, "What is it?" And he said, "Do you want me to tell you?" And I said, "Yes, but no. But yes, but no."
Yeah, you never really want to know.
Yeah.
But part of you is like, yeah, I kind of want to know now.
He wanted to tell me, too.
Sure.
And then I said, no. You can't tell me because whatever it is, we kind of have a the unspoken pact is that we open stuff that is sent to both of us. We open it up together while we're recording. So he said, all right. Yeah, maybe I'll throw something together. And then 2 hours later, he texted me saying, hey, the thing he was painting for me. He's like, yeah, that's done. I'll drop it off now. And I was like, oh, wow, that was super quick. I thought it was going to be a couple days. He's like, nope, got it. And then he showed up at my house. And he had...
with a gift.
And he had this, which is, I would assume it's something that's framed. It looks to be...
it's that size, right?
Yeah, it's probably, 18 by 24.
Now,
feels like a frame. It's wrapped in white paper.
Now, unlike the last time we received something that was in a frame, does it feel like there's any loose glass shards?
No loose glass in there.
Wow. Must not have used the United States Postal Service.
No, but this was taped liberally with 1-inch blue masking tape.
Yep. Looks like the painter took some of his painter's tape. So whoever gets the next job from Rusty, you're going to get a little upcharge because he had to burn through some blue tape for this.
Yeah. So that being said...
Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
It's really that third time. By the way, to close that loop, Steve, while we move this gift around. the Edmund Fitzgerald left from the Burlington Northern Railroad Dock number 1.
Boy, yeah, that would have been a bit wordy.
Real tough to rhyme
left
that.
from the Burlington Road. What is it?
Burlington Northern Railroad Dock number 1, Superior, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Look at that, Gordon, you big idiot.
I'm going to pass this over to you. I'm not a huge fan of opening gifts, but I love watching people open gifts.
Oh, almost dropped it already.
Okay. So, again, I have zero context as to what this is other than that it's from the Town Drunk Rusty.
A lot of blue tape here.
A lot of blue tape. It looks like half a roll was wasted.
And then the type of material that he would lay on your floor. So
yeah.
The paint wouldn't
get
on
like
it.
that thick, the heavy white paper.
It's almost like that year that idiot on staff gave you a gift wrapped in the tube.
Oh, yeah.
Of the Christmas wrapping paper.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't think they're around anymore. I think we had to let them go after that.
All right. What do we got?
We're getting there, Steve. It is a frame.
Okay.
Steve, this appears to be a framed, sleeveless jersey.
And it's autographed, too.
From our dear friend. Yeah, but he didn't even sign the jersey.
No.
And here's what I can guarantee you happened. He put the jersey in here.
And forgot.
Forgot to sign it. And he signed the glass. This is... So 4 years.
That is...
when we would play softball.
That's the infamous jersey.
This is the jersey he wore. Now, I don't know. Maybe we should ask him specifically, is this an official retirement? Like leaving, leaving the cleats on the field of play and then going back to get them because really doing that's a waste of money.
Right, yeah. You don't want. Why would you waste your cleats? At least donate them to somebody who could use cleats.
And plus, there's a team coming on the field to play the next game.
Right,
They just have to remove them.
Yeah.
It's kind of rude.
Oh,
I think
boy.
we need to ask, is this an official retirement announcement? Because Rusty's had some health issues around the same time and before that I had some health issues.
Doing well now, though.
But this is beautiful.
This is, boy, that makes me feel nostalgic. This is, 4 years ago that we were, was it really that, it was like 2017, right?
Oh, so Rusty. So not only did he forget to sign the jersey before putting it encapsulated in this, he put it in upside down. The hooks that you're supposed to hook it from are on the bottom.
And that is how it will be hung.
They did.
No, because there would be the two would have to be on the on the opposite side.
So this is how it will be hung wherever we decide to hang it.
I think that's perfect. So it will be hung upside down.
But for years, Rusty refused to wear sleeves.
Yeah, even though we played in the fall league.
And
early. We played summer.
Yeah, we were playing in April, Steve.
That's right, yeah.
We were playing in April to October, essentially, with 2 different seasons. And when you're playing in April in Michigan, you know what you're going to get. It's going to be...
It was snowing one day when we were playing.
At nighttime, it's going to be in the 40s. The nice nights might be a 60.
Yeah.
But those are rare. The same thing for October. At night, it's going to be 40s to 50s. Yet Rusty prevailed, and week in, week out, he would show up.
Showed up.
With his sleeveless shirt on and 2 different colored cleats. And that's what
I forgot about the cleats.
And that's what you could count on. You could count on that from Rusty week in and week out. So this is the actual jersey reminding Steve, you and I, of our playing days in recreational slow pitch softball for Team Remax.
Hell of a time that was in my life.
Does that bring you back?
It does.
Does that make you want to watch? Does that make you want to play so you can have Annette bring Evelyn and have her watch Dad hit the ball and
kind of. Yeah. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you get a team together. Don't invite me. Not interested.
It's awfully presumptive that I would invite you.
Yeah, no, that's very true too. I am assuming though that at some point you would run into, because every slow pitch softball team ever does this, where there's it's week 2 and you're like, hey, I only got 7 people.
Yeah,
because that's the worst part about softball, and that is 100% the reason I stopped participating.
I do want to. I don't know if I'd do softball again. Like, I enjoyed softball. It was fun for what it was. But I've had this, hankering for the last couple of weeks. I want to do something. I want to get involved in something, whether
golf
it's
league. I want to do a golf league so bad.
Golf league would be fun because that is because I'm not super interested in golf, so I wouldn't be taking it seriously in any way.
And it's 9 holes once a week.
I just want I want the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
I'd love to get together and golf with a couple of buddies. I've thought about joining one of those like sports and social leagues.
Yeah.
Where it's like, a bunch of adults, but you're playing kickball or dodgeball or something.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I've thought that would be a lot of fun. There's like that social itch that I feel like I really need to scratch.
But it's so hard because you can't do it with your spouse. Because then what do you do with your daughter?
Yeah.
And that's where we are too. So it's days or evenings you even get without where you don't have to, like, hey, someone's watching him or her overnight. Yeah. Like, what do now what? We had that last night, and you're just sitting there kind of, well, what do we do?
Yeah.
He's kind of being tied to the house because he's in bed.
Right.
So once you have that option, you don't really know what to do. So on a weeknight, odds are that's not going to be something that you and Annette would be able to do.
Now, you guys don't have, other than your in-laws and your parents, you don't have a babysitter, do you?
Nope. That's going to...
You got to be getting close to that, though, right?
It's going to have to be a step at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We do daycare now, and we bring him to the same daycare as actually one of our listeners, Josh Reed. His daughter, adorable, gets along with Reed. They're great friends.
Josh, our friend from the USPS.
And she's really sweet to him.
Nice.
And Reed adores her, so... So babysitter is the next step, but it's so hard to kind of find one. And then what do? Do you find someone that you bring him to their house? It's easier if they come to your house, but then if they can't drive, you've got to worry about getting the babysitter to and from. Yeah. And oof.
What I'm hoping is we have neighbors across the street who their girls are, I think, 12 and 7 or 11 and 7.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that in about another 2 years or so, they'll be like, yeah, we want to babysit. Because they're great girls.
Yeah.
I would trust them. It would be so easy for them to just walk across the street and sit in the house and stay with Evelyn. But yeah, we're kind of at that point too, where it's like, I have no idea where to start when it comes to a babysitter. Because I'd want to find somebody that, for instance, if you guys had somebody and it was a kid in the neighborhood that you think is great, be like, hey, let me get their info. But yeah, it's weird. Like the whole idea of leaving my child with a complete stranger, that's going to be strange that first time. So
it's weird. I mean, how much do you vet? Does it have to be somebody you know? Does it have to be, or are you doing reference checks on this 16-year-old? Like, hey, algebra teacher, what do you think of little Susie? Is she a good student? Is she a good egg? It's weird. It's hard to do. I know there's websites and there's apps for everything now. I mean, you can. Yeah. There's an app for getting your dog walked. So I know there's apps to find care, but also you have to consider then too. Hey, if you want to go to a movie, it's time they get there. By the time you get to the movie done, it's 3 hours. You're paying them $10-12 an hour. It's $30-40. Plus
that I'm not so worried about, because for me that's I think it's going to be worth it.
Right.
It's going to ultimately be worth it. And the thing is, because my mom obviously is hundreds of miles away. My dad's down in Florida. My in-laws, they're an hour and a half away. Even though I know if we called my mother-in-law,
she'd be here in an hour and a half.
Yeah, she'd be here she'd get here in 45 minutes somehow. But it's going to be strange. It's going to be very strange. Plus, she can't do it right now because she just had knee replacement, so she's not able to drive, not getting around that great right now during the recovery. But yeah, so I don't know. It feels like in the next year or so that's going to have to happen.
Yeah, and again, it's something you have to explore, and you have to. Again, I don't know. Millions of parents have gone through this.
Yeah,
but so many of them have had family, nieces, nephews, whatever, cousins that are willing to come over and do it, and starting kind of from scratch is such a weird proposition that we've been lucky. We've been lucky with our parents, and they'll take him if we want a night out, and we don't ask a ton to get away. Again, it's you're kind of listless. Like, hey, unless we want to go see a movie. But even then, it's like we're dropping him off before the movie. We're going from the movie to pick him back up.
Yeah.
So it's like a contained 2 hours.
Yeah.
We're not
and
saying,
chances are he's asleep for most of it.
Right, and we're not saying, well, we'll go get dinner and then we'll go see this movie, and then after that we might go out for drinks and dessert, and then maybe we'll go see so and so. Like, no, I don't know. My main goal has always been, let's go get him. I'd rather have him home. I'd rather have him with us. And I don't know if it's a protective thing or if it's just me being bump on the log, but
probably more the latter. Knowing you, not exactly a social butterfly.
I'm not itching to go visit people, and no, that's very true. That's hard to argue. Steve, forgive me if we did this last week. Did we give the big update of all updates?
We did not.
So I think it's time we finally discuss this because it's only been referenced in kind of hushed tones for the past 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I want to say it was 3 weeks ago you and I hooked up after recording on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And you texted me, said, hey, you available? And I said, yep, give me about a half hour. And next thing I know, you rolled by. You rolled by my house in the murder Jeep.
Yeah. Still blood spatter everywhere.
Just the cries of the souls you can hear.
Yeah. My Jeep is, I actually refer to it as Lil Edmund.
If the wind blows just right and Steve drives by, you can hear the wail of the dead from the undercarriage of his Jeep.
Yeah.
And you had the trailer hooked up, and you and I took a trip to the local hardware store.
Yeah.
You had a list?
Did.
You were all ready?
It was stuff that, it was a bunch of stuff that we needed, all big stuff. So that's why I needed a trailer, needed second set of hands. Originally, I was going to make that trip by myself.
Yeah.
And after being there and realizing that would have been impossible, I'm glad that I put out the SOS and that you responded.
And the reason this came up was because we'd been kind of joking about it, but it's gotten pretty serious down here.
It is, yeah.
Your wife has been making pretty verbal notes about expanding and moving her own cricket corner.
Yeah, she wants me to get the hell out because she wants to move back into the corner that we are currently in. She used to be over here. We were over there.
And we willy-nilly with the preferences.
We switched at one point, and then now this is also the playroom, which is great because the one thing that always terrified me about having kids is like, oh my God, there's just going to be toys everywhere, and I'm going to be tripping over blocks and Legos and everything. So we decided, like, we have this somewhat kind of finished basement. It's super ugly down here. Great. This is the room where we're going to throw all the toys. If stuff gets destroyed, if a wall gets banged, if the door gets nicked, doesn't matter because with Cricket Corner, the podcast, a big ass couch, and now 1 million toys, real estate is at a high priority down here.
Yeah, it's getting slim pickings.
Yeah.
Typically there's weeks where I come in and I'll have to move a rocking horse a few feet.
Or a pony or something.
Yep, something.
The ice cream cart.
Something will have to be adjusted so I can get into the chair.
Annette actually told me, she said, I'm just going to keep piling up Evelyn's toys around your table until you get out. I was like, okay.
More direct than the other.
I was like, boy, you could move out.
There's two sides of the street on this one.
You could go somewhere else. That seemed to be shut down pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, because, there's a whole ton of room on that side over there. So you and I went to the home improvement store, you spent way too much money.
Quite a bit.
To begin the process formally, officially, on APS 4.0.
That's right. Yeah. So I had actually started a couple weeks before that and gotten all of the electrical done down here. So we have outlets, we have switches, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's coming along. But now we have walls, we have insulation.
Yeah.
We have paneling. We have flooring.
Yeah, we didn't specify what we got on this trailer load of stuff, but what was included was drywall.
Yep.
Insulation.
Yeah. Like the foam board.
Yeah. And then you have since then got flooring, and
we did paneling too. We did wood paneling.
Ceiling.
Which I love. I love the paneling.
And
I've done trim.
We'll post a picture of where we're at because I don't know if people will believe because we haven't talked about it. Typically we would step by step this thing, but I thought for a while it'll kind of be better to do hey, just so you know, this has been a years running joke, a years long joke.
We've been in here for 4 years almost exactly.
In this
room.
In corners of this room. And that will be changing, I would say, the next 2 months.
I would say probably within a month, but I don't know.
I wouldn't put the deadline on it though, because there's still one big ticket item we have to do.
Yeah, the big project is going to require some fabrication work, which my buddy Ben has been gracious enough to offer his expertise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a welder.
Okay.
Or somebody who can weld much better than I can.
Yeah.
So parts have been gathered already. I have to go out and pick up one more thing, a couple more things, but yeah, we are. I mean, let's open that door.
If you had to place a percentage on where we are complete, what would your estimate be?
Give it a firm 70.
Folks, APS 4.0. I think I can officially announce coming first quarter 2022.
I do have an album of photos. Anytime we do,
it gives us 5 months. Coming.
Here's what I'm saying.
2020, the first half of the 2020s.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whenever we do like a renovation, I always take a bunch of before and during and after pictures. So I have an album on my computer. It's got 20 photos in it right now, and it's pretty much up to date. But the first photo was taken. It was a photo that I sent you of like 2x3s hanging out the back of the Jeep. September 3rd, 2020. September 3rd, 2020. Materials were purchased. Walls were built that day. All right, I'm going through the pictures here. Next update, October 16th, 2021. So a mere 13 months later.
Yeah, 56 weeks, give or take, from step 1 to step 2.
To step 2, yeah.
And all it took was your wife almost physically pushing us out.
Yeah.
So what we have is we have our floor installed fully, walls installed fully, trim installed fully.
Yeah.
Ceiling tiles installed 50%.
I got about 60. Yeah, probably 60%. I'll finish those up today, hopefully.
Where we're at now is our desk, our table is the last big ticket item that we have to worry about, as well as more minor items, finishing the ceiling, and then minor items, decorative, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We have to find a spot to hang the Rocky poster.
Yeah, probably put up some shelves.
Yeah, our memorabilia shelving. The upside down jersey that Rusty gave us here to memorialize our slow pitch.
Kenny Rogers, of course, Kenny Rogers album.
I think when we take the time, whether it's an hour or whatever, and set to the side the merch we need to make room for and where we want it, we're going to realize we might be in a little bit over.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff.
We have more than we thought.
We do.
And there's still items that you and I are looking that we want to add.
Yeah.
Like, again, a 24 to 36 inch digital timer.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Let me pull that up again.
Because we want...
You got the link for that, Ben?
We use it to mark... I'll email it to you.
Send that thing my way.
We use it to mark timestamps, whether I curse, whether there's coughs, whether I think there's something funny I can pull for the intro the following week. And since we've upgraded our mixer, I don't have that anymore. I don't have a timer. So we're looking to install a large form timer.
You want to go 24, 30, or 36 inch?
I mean, the bigger the better, right?
Did you like now, from time to time, you know how I hang out on Facebook Marketplace all the time?
Yes, you do.
A couple days ago, I sent you the lockers. Do you want to get the lockers?
Boy,
it's like 3 school lockers.
I think my only concern with that right now, without knowing what we have to hang up and where, is space. Because that would be about a half of one of our walls or a quarter of one of our walls.
Looks like it's probably about 3 feet wide.
Yeah, I'm guessing those lockers are 12 inches.
But just imagine, you come over here, take your coat off, hang it up in your locker. Like, I'll put a K on your locker. I'll have an S on mine, and we'll have a G for our guest.
On the locker, that's just smart at that point.
Put your coat right in there. Maybe a pair of shoes or slippers, like you could be like Mr. Rogers.
Right. Always take my slippers off after I take my shoes off upstairs. Put on my slippers to walk downstairs. Take off my slippers to put them in the locker.
Put on your podcast shoes.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, I think that this
we're very close, and so yeah, we're at this point where we're at decoration. So we're always accepting memorabilia and things that we've joked about or talked about in this podcast. We have. And we're going to put up as much as we physically can. We've got the Cliffy bobblehead.
Yeah.
We've got the 1999 Purple Plymouth Prowler. We've got our Pod Coney. We've got...
I have a whole box of other crap, too.
You do?
Was from, like, the old studio.
Man.
I have so much stuff that we have to put up.
We've got some newer items. Like, we've got the Prohibition-era prescriptions for whiskey that were donated to us. We've got the sands from the beaches of Iwo Jima. We've got the shattered glass photograph.
Which will be hung exactly as it arrives.
Paul Sr., Paul Jr., and Mikey from Orange County Choppers.
We got Rocky.
We've got the Rocky poster. We've got an X-Files poster if we want to put that up.
Yep.
We've got...
Billboard artwork.
Billboard art we got to find room for. We've got headshot of Bradley Cooper from A Star Is Born.
Yeah, we're going to be pretty limited on space.
And that's the only reason
we're going to be hanging stuff on the back of the door.
Yeah. That's why right now I think about those lockers and I'm thinking... We should see where and how everything we have is going to fit. Before we do that, we've got to find a room for our candy, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So, but again, we're always accepting memorabilia and items you think would fit well in APS 4.0. Submissions are now open. If you have ideas or anything you want to send us, just shoot us a message. The P.O. box and address is in the notes of this episode, as it always is, or you can just reach out and we can give you that address directly.
Boy, that timer, though.
Isn't it nice?
Looking nice.
It's very nice. I'm emailing you the link right now, so I have it in my inbox as well. Yeah, that's kind of a thing that you and I have both decided we now need.
Yeah,
we've migrated from 8 foot by 4 foot literal scoreboard
from a gymnasium.
That we probably could have gotten for $40 before this guy just scrapped it for nothing. To now a 2 foot or 3 foot long digital timer, so you and I can be self-indulgent and write down when we think we're hilarious on a document.
So this is the DB Tech huge, large bid, oversized digital LED clock. Yeah. Blue is key. I mean, we can't go red. 36 cent. Do we do
red?
30?
Feels like we're in a war bunker.
Yeah, no.
And it's a clock telling you, hey, 2 minutes to midnight, the world's ending.
Now, they got the 24-inch version for just $80. You got the 30-inch version for $90. But they got the 36-inch version.
Go big or go home.
For $99.
Go big or go home. So that's where we're at.
In blue, obviously.
This is very exciting. We will post the pictures. Steve, you can post a few of where the studio is now on our social media channels at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can follow the progress as we're more than halfway.
Yeah.
Definitively more than halfway.
Yeah, really.
With APS 4.0.
Like I said, the ceiling will be finished today. And then once the ceiling is finished, the only other thing that I have to do, I have to finish one thing on the door. But that's going to be relatively quick. And then, just have to build a table. Got my wife on the lookout for a rug that we can put in there.
Right.
And
like a large form.
Yeah, like a big area rug.
Yeah, it would be, again, I think, I worry because it's like a wood flooring or like a false wood flooring.
Laminate flooring.
So I worry if we don't roll. It's not like you and I are spinning around in circles while we're recording. But if you move your chair, you might be able to hear that.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad idea. The finishing touches, finally, 3 or 4 years in the making, coming your way. First half of the 2020s, officially announced here today. APS 4.0, the perfect time to then wrap up this podcast.
I want to draw a line in the sand.
Don't do it.
But I don't want to.
You probably were probably willing to draw that line in the sand last September when you sent me that picture of the walls up.
Yeah.
And you probably would have said, hey, I think, January 1, 2021, I'll be in there.
I mean, I feel like it's safe to say that we'll start the new year in a new studio.
You think the first live episode of 2022, we haven't looked at our calendar for when we're going to be doing the year in review. You think the first live episode of 2022 could be an APS 4.0?
I do.
That's big news.
I do.
That's big news.
Could be. I mean,
could be. We've got a poll. We got to do a television swap from my house.
Yeah, we do.
To bring that over here, and I don't even need your help for that. I can do that. I just need to do it. And the only thing I think we're going to run into is we talk about it every year. This time of year is busy. I don't know what you have for trips or if you're going to visit family.
No, I don't think we are.
In New Jersey.
I think we're going to go away for a couple days.
Okay.
After maybe like in between Christmas and New Year's.
But you'll be seeing the in-laws. I'm assuming so you spend some weekends up there, overnights up there. It's the holidays in general. You've got to worry about Thanksgiving coming up, decorating, which you and I have to finalize the decorating schedule to get the lights up. That's a day. So
it's happening today.
Things get in
lights
the way.
Lights are going up today.
I need to be here to help, and I don't know if I can do it today.
Well,
tomorrow's going to be.
You'll be the one to explain to the kids why Santa Claus isn't here.
Tomorrow's going to be 60. You thought about that?
Today's going to be 62.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though tomorrow, though, too. So that's the only thing I could foresee getting in the way of January, whatever.
Well, here's what we got to do. You got to go home, take that TV off the wall today, and I'll swing by and scoop it up. I got to finish that ceiling, and then I got to start building the countertop.
It's the table. It's the table which we're going to.
But I kind of have to build the frame for.
Yeah,
no, I actually have to build the countertop. I have to do the actual countertop first, and then build the frame to match it.
So our target date, presumably, I would guess our year in review, Steve, will be released on December 28th. Because I doubt you and I are going to record Christmas weekend. I think we can plan on our year in review coming out the week of December 28th, which would put our first live episode of the new year releasing on January 4th, 2022. Recording that weekend before? Possibly.
Maybe the second? Yeah. So I'm not recording on New Year's Day. That's
maybe maybe the first episode? I don't want to put the hard deadline on it.
Oh boy!
Because I don't know what's involved with the countertop situation and everything.
Countertop is going to be a situation. That's going to be one where I'm going to need some help carrying it down at least.
Yep.
But yeah, we're close. We're very close.
It's exciting.
Whole new chapter. Expect the quality of the content to remain exactly the same.
Precisely the same. We're not touching this equipment, although it seems like we're nearing the point where we will. I wouldn't hate new microphones. At some point in the next year or so, because
maybe some mic processors.
It turns out mine isn't exactly an all sides type of microphone, and it sounds a little bit different from every side I talk into it. And so eventually equipment upgrades, but content precisely the same. You come here
subpar.
You come here next year, second week or first full week in November. You're going to be getting the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald saying to you in the dulcet tones of Steve and Kyle. Before we get out of here, I wanted to mention thank everybody who's already participated, who's also volunteered their information to us to join the 6th annual Steve and Kyle podcast Cloak and Dagger non-denominational Winter Solstice Gift Exchange. Off to a roaring start.
Yeah.
I know we say it every year, but I really do want to make this one our biggest one ever.
Yeah, I think last year we had 53 or something.
So I'd like to get that number higher than that because I love seeing the community grow and change and adapt. New names come aboard. names that I thought were going to be aboard did not come aboard last year and in years past. That's fine. Mm-hmm. No pressure if you can't afford it. If you don't want to, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But we want to give everybody ample notice to join. If you want to join the gift exchange celebrating the winter solstice season with a fellow listener of the Steve and Kyle podcast, please send your information. All we need is your name and address. That's it. To the Steve and Kyle Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media avenue you use the most, at Steve and Kyle is the way to get a hold of us. We monitor those. We update them. What will happen is when you send your information,
you'll get an acknowledgement back, and then in a couple of weeks we'll send you the info of the person that you have been paired up with.
Yeah, so I don't blame you. If you send a message and 24 hours, 36 hours later you haven't received a reply, go ahead and follow up. Mm-hmm. That's totally fine. Steve and I are doing our best to monitor those inboxes as best we can along with the day-to-day lives. Send that information. In regards to details, $15, $20 cap. Mm-hmm. It's a random gift exchange. You're not going to know the person that you're receiving. The person who receives you is not going to know you. We don't really have any recommendations on gifts. You can make it podcast related. You can make it something that you enjoy, that you want to spread the word on, I think so-and-so would enjoy.
I know we've had people send like bags of chips.
Yes.
From
local
this is our,
items.
This is like, if you're from here, these are the chips that everybody loves.
It's neat to see the way this community can spread their individuality all while kind of entertaining each other, mm-hmm. whether it's gifts regarding the Edmund Fitzgerald, whether it's we received a message this morning, a follow-up saying this was my gift from last year. They're still using it. Hashtag Team Suspension Bridge coffee mug.
Ugh. Oh, by the way, we do have that painting of the Mighty Mac.
Oh, that canvas art that you got from from one of the hosts of the show,
yeah.
Right?
Is that going to be? I think I want to hang that up in the studio, but I want to hang it up going
vertical.
Yeah, vertical down in a corner, so it looks like it's just leaning up in the corner.
Yeah,
or maybe upside down.
Oh. And again, we welcome solstice gifts, whether it's for APS 4.0, whether it's a gag gift you want to send to us, any excuse for us to play that beloved viewer mail time introduction, mm-hmm. we will accept. Again, the P.O. box is in the notes of this episode, or you can reach out via message at Steve and Kyle, any of the channels, and we can pass that along to you. But please participate if you can, and you are financially able to and want to be a part of this. I love watching these things roll in, Steve. I love it every year.
It's one of my favorite things each year that we do. Today's a big day, though. We got to get out of here. I got places to be.
You do.
My places are up on the roof.
And apparently finishing the ceiling in APS 4.0.
Yeah. That ceiling has been one of the biggest pains in the asses that I've ever dealt with. I thought it was going to be so easy.
In hindsight, maybe we should have just slapped some drywall up there?
Yeah. Panel the ceiling. Do people do that?
Gotta be, right? Gotta be.
Sure. All right. Like Kyle said, at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if you want in on the 6th annual Steve and Kyle podcast Cloak and Dagger non-denominational winter solstice gift exchange coming up in just about a month, a little more than a month. Plenty of time to still get in on that, so just send us a message with your address. We will talk to you next week. See ya.